was asked a question. Technically, I've been asked this question many times, and I think it's time to really discuss this. What is a booga? Now, I have a couple thoughts about this, bringing out the handy dandy notebook, but I also, the more that I think about it, the more that the idea of a booga expands. You know, it's like a stinky flower that just won't stop blooming, and it smells like gas and Cheetos. You know what I mean? But as we dive into what is a booga, I would like to say hello. Hello to all of you who are new out there. Hi, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I talk a lot about decentering men, child-free living, all that great sexy stuff. I also do a lot of traveling because it's my job. So if you are curious about any of those things, please like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Always appreciate a super thanks. No pressure, but always appreciated. Now let's get into this chaos. At first, I would like to describe what I see in my head, the image of a booga that comes to mind. I think of the first man. Like, you know what? Here's an image. Now, we're going to forget for a moment that every version of the evolution of man always depicts white men. We're going to take that weird fact and put it all the way in the back corner. It's in timeout. When I think of Ooga Booga, I think of this guy. And maybe somewhere in between here, but mostly this guy. I think about Ooga Booga. But I don't just think about him in his own time period, because the Homo the Neanderthal, right? This booga in his natural state in the correct time period, it's just another booga, you know, just another Neanderthal amongst all the other Neanderthals. But if you put him in the 21st century, put him in an economics class, Ooga Booga. You try to talk to him about women's rights. What's he gonna respond? Ooga Booga. Now, I would also like to say that there is an element of Ooga Booga that when I hear, oh, I want a man's man. You know, like I want a man that other men go and say, yeah, that's a man. Jesus. Like I hear I want a booga that oogas to other boogas. Like I hear I want a man that, which that on its own, please don't want that. Anyway, but when I hear, oh yeah, a man's man, I think, okay, yeah, so men think that he is the biggest and the strongest and the fastest. And he might not know words too good. He might not understand what to do with a bidet. He may have never actually cleaned the innermost crevice of his booty hole. I also hear not the greatest communicator to people outside of his immediate sphere of understanding. Other big, strong, fast boogas, you know. I also hear quick-tempered. I also hear impulsive. Booga! So I would like to make a distinction between the healthiest version of what a woman's man is. A woman's man is a man that women respect. A man that I would actually go to and say, I would like your opinion on this. I was talking to my best friend about this, and her version, mind you, she's much more emotionally in tune than I am. I'm a thinker, she's a feeler. And she was like, yeah, when I think of a woman's man within this context, like it's somebody where if I am on the verge of crying, not even necessarily in a romantic kind of way, but I would go to them. If I was on the verge of crying, if I felt like, oh, that I would like some kind of grounding. I'm in a very like heightened state. A woman's man is a safe space. There's not a lot of women's men out there. Now, while we are here, I'm going to refer to some things in the handy dandy because I don't want to miss these important points. Not every man is a booga. Oh, before I even get to that, I know I use these phrases interchangeably, and feel free to put your own spin on it, you know what I mean? But I think that a booga is the man. Like he was a booga. But they can say Ooga Booga. You know, like boogas can speak Ooga Booga. And they Ooga Booga to each other, booga to booga. You know what I mean? So that's what I hear in my head. But once again, feel free to put your own spin on it. This is not a dictionary definition. Webster's is not funding this page at all. Now, back to what I was saying. Not every man is a booga, but every man is fluent in Ooga Booga. And it's not a thing that they've had to be taught or they have to teach other men. In the same way that black woman to black woman, when we see the whites doing something so white, we give the look. My mom never taught me that look. Her mom never taught her that look. There's not a convention where we discuss the look. We just know. In that same way, every man speaks booga. In this kind of way, regardless of if a man is a vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever, right? When men talk about protein, regardless of if they are booga or not, and regardless of if they eat meat or not, when they start ooga boogaing about proteins, they know how to keep that banter going in order to sustain a conversation. Let's say that it's a boss that they have. Let's say that it's somebody that they're trying to network with, but like, I don't really, they can flip the switch and speak booga. Last important point that I have on here, once again, this is a living document. Feel free to type any additions, amendments. Think of this as a booga constitution, right? We can make amendments to this. It's okay. But the last note that I have here about what is a booga. Men can evolve, boogas choose not to. Once again, in the words of two saints of modern day religion, you don't want to be saved, don't save him. Meg the Stallion and Glorilla. The best that we can do, and this is what I'm really trying to make known on this page. One second, just got an email. But this is something that I'm really trying to make this page a safe space for. I understand men lie, boogas lie, cheat, steal, and destroy. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of manipulation that goes into that. And this is not victim blaming at all. This is an educational space. I want us to be so well informed that if there comes a time where a red flag gets waved, where something that you weren't necessarily taught to look out for comes up, but you're like, I don't feel good about this, and I don't know why, but I don't really have any evidence to back it up for. I want this to be a space where people can look back on and say, oh, to the best of my ability, I am going to protect my peace, save myself, my body, and my sanity. So with that, just recognize when you've got a booga in your presence and leave him alone to reinvent fire. You can't make him evolve. At some point he's going to go outside and realize that there are 4x4s with wheels already made, none of them made of stone, granite, right? He's going to realize that lighters exist. We've got ovens now. You don't have to stay for that. You don't have to teach him a goddamn thing. If you want to, that's on you. I'm just saying. Recognizing when you've got a booga could save you from a lot of ooga booga. You know what I mean? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. And if you have any amendments, please type them below. I will talk to you all later. All right, bye.